Wait for it. Wait for it. And we're live. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just a couple of nerdy veterans, a stabby chaos coordinator, and one chief shenanigator geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. And without further ado, before we let our guests introduce themselves, first, we have to talk about the Christmas miracle as we air this episode on Christmas Eve. Can we just acknowledge for a moment that the whole band is back together? Stabby is here. Nick is here. Jenna is here. We have everybody here at the same time.
It may not happen again for months. You don't know.
I know Nick's job is mean. They want him to show up, so they pay him. It's weird how that happens.
So strange.
Like I tell the wife every morning, it's like they keep paying me, so I gotta go. I'll be back in like 10 hours. But you know, just to keep the tradition alive, since all of us are here, Jenna is doing her part to keep that tradition by knitting something.
Crocheting, but
knit,
yes,
knit, Jenna, knit like the wind.
Well, I have to because my nephew is getting married in exactly a week, and this is the wedding present, and I have just one more skein, and then it's done. So
if she ever comes,
quietly crochet.
I challenge you to be done by the end of the show.
If she ever comes and she's not crocheting or knitting or whatever, I'm gonna wonder if that's a cry for help.
It might be.
That's her secret sign that she's secretly being held hostage.
It's either that or by that point my hand is given out.
Well, with this many
if my hands can't take it anymore.
Like with this many people, you can't see her if she's like blinking SOS. And I don't know that the youngins even know Morse code anymore, so it's like the needles in the crochet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Did you know that was a thing that go back to World War II, actually happened in World War I as well, where women would knit code into blankets and shawls and other things, and those were used. Yeah. I found this out, and it is very, very cool because especially with knitting, but you can do it with crocheting too. It's very easy to create codes with it, and it's an easy cipher, and you send somebody a blanket or you send somebody a shawl or whatever, and you've got messages all knitted inside of them.
This sounds like a future fat electrician podcast. I'm not going to lie.
There you go. Yeah, I'd have to look up the references because it's been months since I last looked them up. But yeah, they have references for women who would knit code into clothing and blankets and this, that, and the other. And then nobody noticed. It's just a blanket. You know, what are you going to do with that with holes in it? Blanket with holes in it. It's like, if you know what you're looking for. So anyway.
That's cool.
Crocheting made it useful.
There you go.
So it's an enigma wrapped in a mystery, wrapped in a blanket, I guess.
Michael,
the question.
All right, we're going to get started by letting our guests introduce themselves to our listeners and viewers at home, starting with Bill McCushton.
Yeah, I'm Bill McCushton. I write the Zorn serial over on Substack. And yeah, I also have a mildly amusing interaction when I bought the Santa Claus DVD that I'll mention after we mention the what the movie's rated, because that's the perfect lead-in for this little interaction.
There you go. Next, we have the one, the only, the legendary Charlie Cox.
Hi, guys. I am Charlie Cox. I write military fantasy and science fiction with a sense of humor because life can be dark. So let's embrace a little joy wherever we can find it. And I'm super excited to talk about this movie because I have loved it ever since it first aired when I was still in high school. Oh my God, I'm old. Anywho, happy to be here.
Okay, next we have the lady herself, the one, the only, the missing lady who has been doing things like writing words instead of coming to talk to us. But we've got Chloe Gardner, Madam Chloe, first of her line.
I'm here. I'm so glad to finally be able to carve out time. It's been a wild 6 months, y'all, and it's been great, but it's been hard to find my time. I am Chloe Garner. I am the authoress of various science fiction, fantasy, urban fantasy, paranormal, and slightly horror-ish universes that sprawl all over the place and can constantly get away from me. And I have spent much of the last 6 months trying to chase them all down.
Is it any truth to the rumor that you wrote 157 books in the last 6 months?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Mysterious.
I don't think that's actually how many, but she writes quick and wicked fast, so... I'm channeling our inner Boston masshole so we can be like, wicked fast.
Wicked fast.
My girl Chloe, she wicked fast and smart.
Yeah, and smart. She talks to God and the Harvard God. There we go. All right. I do a horrible accent, by the way. I will never make it as a voice actor.
You gotta, you gotta start going. We're a sci-fi fantasy podcast. You have to start going with the Lovecraft quote. Oh my God! It's a horror from beyond the stars. You know,
Yep, that tracks. That Rockies.
Do you want to tell people who you are, since you have so many personalities it sometimes confuses them?
Well, sometimes it confuses me. Who are you kidding? But I am Jenny S. Brown. I also write under the pen name Jenna Ray. I write the weird and the wonderful, often with smoochies. So, like Chloe, I tend to dabble. My lane is like a four-way highway. I at least stay in speculative fiction for at least this pen name. But within that, I write a lot of stuff. And recently started writing cozy mysteries and not put it under a new name yet. We'll see if that happens. A new name could sprout at any point, like a Hydra. But I do a lot of things. And Charlie, just so you feel better, I was in college, so I am older than you are.
Okay, I looked up then.
Yep.
All right, and now the man, the many voices of Mr. Michael LaVoice. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm sci-fi fantasy author Michael LaVoice, aka LaVoice in your head. And I write sci-fi and military sci-fi and space opera, and I dabble in fantasy and romantasy. Pretty much my roadmap is a 4-cloverleaf interchange built on top of a traffic circle. So there you go.
Okay, and next we have up-and-coming author, Madam Stabby McStabbington. Would you like to introduce yourself?
What?
Yay!
Surprise! Surprise! So, if you watch Blasters and Blades, you know I'm Madam Stabby Stab. I'm just one of the crazy co-hosts and the chaos coordinator. But as of this year, I've read 112 books, and I realize I really can't stand how a lot of people are writing mafia romances. So I'm writing the book I want to read.
Oh, good for you.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how it starts.
It might not be like the family lore.
Don't tell them, JR.
Well, actually, we was talking about Nick's family. I didn't know it was yours.
So I want to start seeing daily word counts posted from you, young lady.
I'm just saying, like, I know how those Irish people were. You know what I mean? And I've heard Nick's stories. I'm seeing some IRA in his family history. I'm just saying.
So, between my family history, my Italian side, and then his Irish side, we have plenty of information on that. But it is a love story in the grand scheme of things. And it is our beautiful mafia princess, Santina, and her love interest, the federal agent Ryan. So,
as one does.
When you get it,
the forbidden romance.
My mom would love that. She's big into that type of story. So yeah, let me know when it's finished, and you'll definitely have a reader.
So you like going to have a dude on the cover with like tribal tats and pecs and all that kind of stuff? No. Bucking the trend already. All right. Okay,
so we've discussed this like 6 months ago. I really don't like when they put a character on the front of the cover, and not going against anybody here who has characters on the front of their cover, but the way I see how you guys describe the character to me in my head versus what the cover's telling me he's supposed to look like kind of messes with me a little bit. So I'm sticking with a very simple cover with little things that remind you of the character.
Object oriented. Good call.
Lipstick and a 9mm and a badge.
Mm-hmm.
A tiara, a 9mm.
Oh, there you go.
And a
there you go. There we go. Tiara. I like it. I'm digging this. This is awesome.
All right, Nick, it's been so long since you've been on. In case they forgot who you are, do you want to tell us a little bit about?
Y'all forgot about me already? Damn, Gino.
Never ever.
I'm Nick Garber. I am the comic book illustrator extraordinaire. Little E on the extraordinaire part. I do dabble in the novel stuff, like short form stuff. And I am the owner of Apogee Comics.
And
just because Apogee is a fun word, somebody opened an Apogee Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu studio near us.
Nice.
They don't sell your comics, though, and I feel like it's a missed opportunity.
It really is.
I agree. I should get in contact.
Should make a deal here. Yeah.
All right.
There
So
should be struck.
Because this is Blasters and Blades, we can't not have religion questions, but it is the holiday. We are airing this on Christmas Eve. So do you guys have any favorite Christmas Eve traditions? And we're just going to go round robin. We're going to start with you, Bill McCushton.
So, like Christmas Eve specific?
Yes.
The Nightmare Before Christmas, ever since I was a kid.
Dark, Gabby approves. I can see her grinning. Okay. Sienna, something more wholesome, I'm sure. She's got the doll. For you listening at home, Stabby immediately had the doll on hand from the Nightmare Before
Nice
Christmas.
work.
Nightmare is wholesome. It's a
Nightmare is
skeleton
wholesome.
going through a midlife crisis. Fun for the whole
That
family.
We watched The Muppets Christmas Carol. And until this year, we used to have all the kids over and we'd make a prime rib dinner and the whole 9 yards. But then my kids went and moved out of state. So we'll be doing the prime rib dinner earlier when they come to visit. And Christmas Eve will be just our youngest kid. So we will watch The Muppets Christmas Carol and we will eat food that is tremendously bad for us. And then we will all go to bed because we've reached that age. That's what we do is we sleep on Christmas Eve. And
given the price of prime ribs right now, dear listener, buy more of her books so she doesn't have to mortgage her house.
Good heavens. On sale, it's $16.50 a pound. It is ridiculous.
Oh, some places it's $40 a pound.
La.
Locally, it was $51. I'm just saying.
Go away. Somebody else. Oh.
Charlie, Christmas Eve traditions.
So I'm a big believer in, as far as gift giving, something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And so what I do for my kids on Christmas Eve is I get everybody jammies, like lounge pants, sweatpants, Christmas jammies, and they match because that's just who I am as a person. So
in my head, I was hearing something to bleed at the end of that. I don't know why. I was like so disappointed. Okay, but it's cool. That's cool.
Well, like Stabby, I am Italian, so I mean, could happen, hasn't yet.
Well, in her defense, her husband's a former infantryman. He doesn't need Christmas as an excuse to buy guns or knives. He just buys them.
Fair. Yeah. And yet every year they end up on his list. Anywho. So that's what we do Christmas Eve. We do the Christmas jammy thing and we open that and then one other present and then pour the milk and carrots for the reindeer, and my son and I make cookies, and that's our thing. And then Christmas morning, it's just rip, run, tear, and get into the presents. That's what we do.
Wow, Stabby. Christmas Eve traditions.
So we usually toss a coin and watch either Die Hard or what?
Lethal Weapon.
I don't watch Lethal Weapon.
What is wrong with you?
Die Hard or Christmas Family Vacation.
Okay.
We don't do the cookies and stuff for Santa anymore. My kid is turning 16 this Christmas, and he's a Christmas Day baby. So he usually gets to open one present. If the girls are down here with us, they get to open one present. And then we just usually curl up with some whatever we cooked that night and watch our movies. Christmas Day, on the other hand, is wild because we have Christmas in the morning, a birthday in the afternoon, birthday dinner that evening, and that gets crazy. That's a whole different conversation, though.
All right, LaVoice.
Well, okay, so we're doing a little different this year. Up until this year, we watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The day before Christmas, we do the Fellowship and then Two Towers on Christmas Eve. And then over the course of Christmas Day, after we do present stuff, we would watch Return of the King. But this year, I've got one kid stationed at Fort Campbell, and I got another kid who's a travel nurse, and she couldn't get off for Christmas Day. And Joshua he'll be a gate guard on Christmas Day. So we're having to do all this on Christmas Eve. And so we're going to skip the movie and just do all the presents on Christmas Eve this year. So it ought to be interesting and a little different. And this may become a thing every year. We don't know yet. So.
Okay. Chloe.
from way on back, Christmas Eve has been for cards. We do Christmas Eve service, and then everybody scrambles home and makes sure that all of the food is assembled where it needs to be. And then we have this smorgasbord of finger foods and snacks and cookies and stuff. And we play cards, most notably Great Dalmuti. If you've ever heard of it or played it, this game can run for forever, and it's designed to have house rules. So we have various house rules associated with it, and the one that really gets you is that the person who won last round is the only one who's allowed to call the end of the game. But there are advantages for having won the last round. So if you won, you don't want the game to end just yet. You want to play another round. And so these can run until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. When I was in college, we would be driving home from a friend's house at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And we just have a really good time of playing our cards and enjoying family and friends for Christmas Eve.
Is this like a special deck, or is it like just a standard deck of cards that you
It's
play
a
this game
special deck. It used to be you could only get
Okay.
it in German. My dad played a version of it called President that I think you could play with a standard deck, but the Dalmuti deck is better. It's got great art.
Okay.
All right.
Nick.
Oh no.
He forgot.
Pretty much Steffi said it for us, but before that, she makes me put on my tack gear and secure the perimeter for Santa.
Nice.
So, but since the boy is turning 16, I don't have to do that. So I finally get to retire from that job.
Okay.
And the great thing about
Just make
him
sure,
being a
just
Christmas
make sure you
baby-
switch off the air defense, before you go to sleep.
Oh yeah, well, I mean they're all pointed towards like other things, but so the boy being born on Christmas, if he doesn't act right this whole month, I get an opportunity to do what our drill sergeants always threaten to do: cancel our birthday and Christmas. I get to do that in well fell swoop.
One day, all on the same
One
day. That's
day.
brilliant. We have a December
That's
baby
rough.
too. She was born on the 2nd. So we're doing her birthday this Saturday. And I sent her a meme the other day that had the 3 wise men all around the nativity set. And they were going, okay, now look here, Jesus, we want you to know these are for your birthday and Christmas. That's great.
So fun little input here about Christmas babies. I was supposed to have a New Year's baby. He was not supposed to come on Christmas. He decided on Christmas Eve it was time. So as I was pulling the turkey out of the oven, the other turkey decided he wanted to join the world too.
Come out of that.
13
oven. I got you.
13 hours later, I am passed out. And the nurses are like, honey, you need to wake up. It's time to push. It's time to push. And I'm like, why? Why are you waking me up? I'm like, the meds are working. Let me sleep.
So ladies, I wouldn't want to do anything that even felt good for 13 hours, much less a lady.
And
Good Lord.
The nurse goes, no, honey, it's time to push. It's time to push. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. If it's time, it's time. Let's do this. So push the kid out. And they gave me his exact time down to the second. And I remember looking at the nurse going, what? And they're like, he was born at 9:07 and 32 seconds. And I was like, why is the 32 seconds important? They're like, oh, because we have a giant basket full of stuff for the first baby born on Christmas Day. And it's got all Santa stuff in it. And I was like, okay. And they're like, the girl in the other room who's in labor exactly with you and had the baby 12 seconds after yours is Jewish. And we don't want to offend her by giving her Santa Claus stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. You woke me up to push this baby out. So you didn't give a Jewish lady Santa Claus stuff? Take the Santa stuff out.
Just play the Hanukkah Harry skit from SNL. I mean, come on.
Okay. So we used to do the cookies as we would watch the Polar Express with our kids. They're obviously too old for that now. Now that they're too old for that, I'm more of the bah humbug, get off my lawn kind of guy. So, I don't really plan on doing much this year.
JR will not be turning off the air defense.
No. Although I don't have to worry about it because I'm in Virginia. I don't think he'll make it out of Chicago alive. So,
Right.
Santa will strap, I'll have you know.
We know we
right,
talked
right,
about
so-
Violent Night last time. So
Never
I'm
bet
joking.
against survivors,
Listen,
dude.
kids, I'm joking. Christmas magic will protect Santa. He's okay. All right. So because this is the Christmas episode, do you guys have any New Year's resolutions? Bill, quick, fast, and dirty like.
Really just to work on focusing better on the multiple projects I have brewing in my mentally ill brain.
I can dig it. Jana.
No, because when I make plans, the universe scoffs and laughs at me. So
Fair.
I can only go so far in the future with what I'm going to plan next. So I generally ignore the resolutions and just go for it. Let's see what comes after.
Charlie.
So I'm kind of the same way. I don't really do resolutions, but I do have goals. And so my goal for 2026 is, considering I released 2 books in 2025, I want to do at least that many in 2026, and stretch goal maybe double that. So we'll see what happens.
Figure out what Chloe's doing. She's writing a bazillion books a year.
Show me your ways.
All right, Stabby, any goals or any resolutions, I should say?
No, we all know I'm the ADHD crazy one in this house. If I say I'm going to do it, then we all know I won't. So I'm just going to roll with the flow and pray that my book comes out and everything else. Like, we're not going to say I'm going to do anything. We're just going to
You don't
roll
want to jinx
with it.
it. I get it.
I'll
Well,
beta
voice.
read for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm with like the robot voiced by Drew Carey. Never try, never fail. That's my motto. So I just don't do resolutions. Sorry. But I am going to publish more than 3 books next year. I tell you that for nothing.
Woot.
Okay.
The goal is 6.
Chloe.
So my writing calendar starts in November, which means that my resolutions for the next year start in November. And it's about what am I focusing on and what am I doing next year. And this year has been a total write-off for various reasons. I don't know that I have celebrated with you guys. So let me say I am now a full-time author.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Which means
Living the
which means-
dream, Chloe.
It's
Way to
amazing and
go.
I'm so excited. But it means that I immediately started doing all of the things that I spent the previous 12 years not doing because I was trying to get the words out and the books out and the career built. So I have this career that has built to the point that I can actually be a full-time author. And I'm coaching. I am not a sporty sport person, but I am coaching a sports team. I am tutoring. I am out in the living room doing homework in the afternoons. I am doing stuff that I haven't gotten to do for a very long time. I am psyched. I am delighted. But the fact of it is that I have not been writing for the last year the way that I expect of myself. So the next year is about finding balance between all of these ecstatic, fun things that I get to do because I have opportunity and time, and actually being a professional author, not just somebody who tells people that she writes things and then never actually writes anything.
What sport are you coaching?
Archery. It's so cool.
Love it so much.
I'm kind of an archery expert. I told that
Are
story
you?
on the podcast. I told the story on the podcast before, but I even won a bet on archery because I'm so good. Have you heard that story?
I have not.
So when
I
I
have.
was 11 years old, I was at a sporting camp for Boy Scouts, and my stepdad bet me I couldn't hit the bullseye, and I did, and he owes me $20, and he refuses to pay up. Now he argues that it wasn't the one I was aiming at because it was 2 rows over and 3 rows back from my lane, but I say a bullseye is a bullseye.
Yep.
So
Where does he live? I just want to talk to him.
I think he owes me interest as well, but we have yet to settle it.
No, I've always wanted to be an elven archer, and now I actually get to go. Like, I put bows and arrows in the hands of 3rd graders, y'all. I am brave.
Do you
Yeah,
wear
I
I need to
pointy
print
ears
you an
while you
elven helmet.
do it?
So
Chloe,
next
do you
you need to
wear,
get
do you
some
wear
shield-
pointy ears while you teach archery?
I
Just
want
saying.
them. Maybe I'll ask for them for Christmas.
Okay.
You also need to get like shields and teach them to studo so they can practice that while you shoot at them for therapy. I'm just saying.
Engage the phalanx.
All right, Nick. New Year's resolution?
It used to be just don't die of some sort of heart disease related injury.
A valid
I think
goal.
I'm okay now. It's a valid goal, but this year I finally got my books with a distribution company, so I'm currently in 3 comic book shops in the country, and I'd like to increase that. I'd also like to put out. I got a few projects that have been on the back burner, and I'm going to focus on them in 2026 and get those out because I think they're going to be awesome. Of course, I'm the creator. We all, as creators, we all think our stuff's awesome, but this one it really is. So.
Okay, and for me, I'm going to maintain the 4 times a week at the gym, the 7,000 or more steps a day, and 4,000 words. That's my goal. Sometimes life gets in the way, but that's the goal. And so next we have ugly sweater. Yes or no, Bill? For Christmas, do you like the tradition?
So I've never been able to partake in that tradition because I've never had an ugly sweater.
No.
But I've been very tempted. My roommate Circus once found a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure themed one. Had a picture of one of the main villains, Dio, and it just says, "You were expecting an ugly sweater, but it was I, Dio." I want that sweater. I really want that sweater.
Jana?
No. I like warm, cozy, pretty sweaters.
Charlie?
I think ugly sweaters are fun. And I love Christmas parties where people do the ugly sweater contest and you get to see exactly how ridiculous people can be with what they can find or what they can buy. And considering tonight's topic is the Santa Claus, I think we all need to take a moment and appreciate Neil for his
and the sweater
choices in sweater wears. So yeah, I think it's fun.
His ugly sweaters were actually what people were wearing in the 90s, I remember. So, I mean,
they were.
There's that.
Yeah, they were just sweaters back then.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, they did well.
Daddy, ugly sweater, yes or no?
Ugly sweater, absolutely. I own like 3 of them. This is just one of them. If you can't read it, it says I'm on the naughty list and I regret nothing. One of my other favorites is a Darth Vader one that just says bah humbug. But my favorite shirt.
Ugly. There's a difference between cool Christmas sweater and ugly with weird tassels and crap on them.
Here's the thing: is I
depends
actually
on where the
have
tassels
some of
are.
I have quite a few with fringe on them. I do, but this one is one of my favorites because Nick bought it for me for Christmas last year. But we do a Christmas party with a bunch of law enforcement officers, and we always find me an awesome shirt to wear. And last year, Nick got me the best shirt. It says Big Nick Energy on the back.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
And I can never replace that shirt now. That is the forever shirt. The law enforcement guys told me that is my forever shirt, and I can wear nothing else to the Christmas party. So
all right, LaVoice, ugly sweater, yes or no?
Yes, I used to have one. It was the only one I ever had, and it was patterned after the Griswold's brother-in-law with the dicky that was visible under the and I don't know what happened to it. Honestly, I think my ex-wife cut it to pieces, but I miss that sweater.
I just want to talk to her. I just want to talk to her.
I know, Chloe. Right? Sacrilege.
Ugly sweater, yes or no, Chloe?
I don't want an ugly sweater. I want the dress from White Christmas, the end.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Nick, ugly sweater, yes or no?
I'm currently wearing an ugly sweater, so I'm going to say yes. And speaking of ugly sweaters that are involved with Christmas Vacation, I found one that had Eddie in his bathrobe on the front saying Shitter's Hole. And it was knitted.
I have such bad fashion sense and fashion taste. I couldn't tell if it's ugly or not, so I wouldn't know if it's an ugly sweater.
The colorblind guy doesn't know if it's an ugly sweater. Big shock.
I'm just going to say,
all agree to me.
All right. This one is literally yes or no. No time for stories because we want to start talking about the movie review. Eggnog, delicious or war crime? Bill?
No.
Jana?
Revolting.
Excellent answer. Charlie?
Yes, if there's booze.
Acceptable. Savvy?
depends who makes it.
LaVoice?
Yes, alcoholic or non. I don't care. I love that stuff.
Okay, you probably put pineapple on pizza too. Chloe.
Yes, I do.
You gross.
Thank you. Nick.
Word.
I don't know if I can still be friends with you. That stuff is gross. It's a war crime every time.
I'll snort it off a reindeer's butt, dude. I love
Ew.
it.
Man, that stuff is disgusting.
You got to put booze in it. Brandy. Whiskey.
All right. Because we are civilized human beings here at the Blasters and Blades podcast, we are no longer knuckle dragging troglodytes. So we ask you, coffee or tea, or what are you drinking this holiday season? Bill.
I am drinking cocoa out of my Batman mug.
Okay. Did he? There's a Christmas song with Batman in it, so it's appropriate. Jana.
It does not smell.
Coffee Brand Coffee finally got all of their cocos back in stock. So I have a whole little thing in my cart because I have to make sure that I have some for various people. But their hot chocolate that's got the peppermint in it is one of my very favorites. And for Christmas Eve, hot chocolate with peppermint, lots of whipping cream, little teeny tiny marshmallows. I'm there.
Okay. Charlie.
I'm going to agree 100% with Jana on all of the above. Just throw a shot of espresso in the cocoa with the mint and the whipped cream and all the things. I'm right there with you.
Woohoo!
All right, Stabby.
So it's coffee. We all know Stabby is coffee. Coffee all the time. Coffee. But I don't do the flavored creamers or whipped cream anymore. Just a little half and half, and I am down 25 pounds. So.
I found them. If you want them back, let me know.
Free to get home. LaVoice, what are you drinking this holiday season?
I currently have black coffee in my product placement mug. Thank you.
Excellent. And we didn't even have to pay for that product placement. He did it for free. Chloe.
Guess what? Look. I drink tea now.
Oh,
Wow.
I thought you were going to go with tea because I've seen your merch store. I'm just saying.
I know.
Just 'cause
but
you're
I
a
actually
full-time
drink
author
tea
now.
and I'm so excited. I found tea that I will drink, and it is wonderful.
We fought two
Very
wars. So you
British
didn't have
of
to drink that stuff.
Nick, what are you
Bourbon.
drinking? Bourbon. Don't you put it
It's
in
the
coffee?
holidays. It's stressful. And bourbon.
Okay.
In the coffee.
I have been doing bourbon in my hot chocolate. It's actually really, really good. It works. We do not recommend that if you serving multiple people, separate it so no cross contamination.
I highly recommend it. That's hilarious.
No, not hilarious.
No, that is not family friendly. No cross contamination. And with that, we're going to pause for a moment while you think about your sins, Nick, and think about that in the thinking corner. And we're going to shamelessly shill for the man.
Ho, ho! Oh, hell. Is that sleigh bells ringing in your ears or a few rounds from an M60? You wanted the jolly fat man to bring Yuletide joy, but the season has gifted you with a heartbreaker and a life taker. Badass Santa. Grab your eggnog and camouflage candy canes. Strap on your bulletproof holiday stockings and prepare for thrills and kills. From bloodstained rebellion at the North Pole to a Black Ops raid on a distant planet, these 18 action-packed tales will show you Saint Nick as you have never seen him before. It's all you'll want for Christmas.
All right. Thank you for sticking with us through that commercial interlude. We actually have volume 2 of the Claws of War, the second Christmas anthology out. I do not have a, hold on. Let me see if I can make you the spoiler.
Well done, Charlie. Well done.
Hold on.
Nope, that's Nick.
Nick.
That's not Charlie.
I don't know how to do. They've moved everything.
Do it.
There we
Hey,
go.
Bill.
It's going now. There we go. You see it over her shoulder.
There it is.
There we go.
Yes.
I don't see my name on there.
So there is no audiobook because Garrett Michael Brown is too expensive now. He does all the Athon stuff and Larry Correa now, and he got super expensive. But it's really good. He's good. He's a good voice actor. We don't have an audiobook for volume 2. But there is a second volume linked. If you find the first one, all of the anthologies by Bayonet Books are linked in the same series, so you can get the second one. It's out there. It's awesome. You can also find the War Hamster anthology, which is a family-friendly one because Jana made me take out all my cuss words.
That's right.
She gave me the mom look, and when that didn't work, she called my mother, which is totally cheating.
Oh, no.
You know, your mother likes me better than you, so.
She likes a lot of people better than me, come to think of it. But, we'll move on. All right. So, obviously, dear listeners, we are here to talk about The Santa Claus. It's a holiday movie review. So before we do, we're going to tell you a little bit about this movie, including our new plan. After Violent Night, we realized maybe we should include movie ratings as we talk about these movies, just, for context before we dive in. Sorry about that on the Violent Night, but this is The Santa Claus. It's rated PG. It was directed by John Pasquin. A budget cost of $22 million, earned a box office of $190.3 million, a duration of 97 minutes. It aired in November 1994. We will not talk about what people were doing in 94. That's verboten, I'm told. It was produced by Walt Disney Pictures. And so the ad copy for this. When Scott Calvin, played by Tim Allen, accidentally causes Santa Claus to fall from his roof, he finds himself magically recruited to take his place. Now, with Christmas on the line, Scott must learn to deliver presents, handle the North Pole, and become the Santa everyone loves, all while juggling his own life. It's a holiday adventure filled with laughs and Christmas cheer. So first off, everyone good with the summary?
Yep, that's reasonable.
Luckily for me, it's a recent enough movie that I just stole it straight from the back of the movie box.
Nice.
Because it's a new enough movie. That it does help when it comes to that. All right, everyone's good with that movie summary?
Yes.
Before we dive in, first, we're going to... does this movie poster going to make you want to watch it? This is the pre-release movie poster. Is it going to make you want to watch this movie? It does nothing for me.
It's tacky.
1994.
It is tacky, but yeah, it's Tim Allen. I mean, I was already a Tim Allen fan when this came out because of, Home Improvement. So yeah, I was there for it.
I was just going to say the same as Michael. Yeah, it was Tim Allen. I loved Home Improvement. I was like, yeah, let's see the Tool Man in a movie. Sure, why not?
Okay.
Also, you got to love the fact that if you look closely enough, the actual Santa Claus, the clause is written around the edge of the poster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Good catch. The version I grabbed because I needed it to be small enough I can use it for the thumbnail of this episode. I can't zoom in, it pixelate. But you're right, it is there. So if you grab the actual poster itself, because that's from the poster, you can actually buy the poster that was originally out on Amazon. It's for sale. It's $19.99 delivered straight to your home. Free shipping with Prime. But yeah, you can get that. So if you want it for your movie theater wall, your man cave, your she shed, whatever you're calling it these days. All right. And now that we got that out of the way, we're going to look at the trailer and see if it's going to make you want to watch the movie.
It was the night before Christmas, and children were dreaming of the presents Santa would bring.
Somebody's on the roof.
But this Christmas Eve,
Hey, you!
the unthinkable happened.
You killed him.
Did not.
Now, this night,
If something should happen to me, put on my suit. The reindeer will know what to do.
it's up to them
Let's go!
to save the day. Together, Scott Kelvin and his son Charlie take on the biggest job in the world.
Looking good, Dad.
And though it has its dangers,
Nice teeth.
he thought it was just for one night.
You're the new Santa. I am not Santa Claus. You put on the suit, you're the big guy.
What if I don't buy into this Santa Claus thing? Then there would be millions of disappointed children around the world.
He doesn't want the job,
It was a dream.
but it's growing on him.
I've gained 45 pounds in a week.
Now he's getting into the spirit.
There are a lot of kids that believe in you. I want some ballet slippers.
And getting ready for the biggest night of his life.
How could I have done this without you, Charlie?
You couldn't.
Walt Disney presents a timeless tale that will warm your heart.
I love you, Santa Claus.
I love you, son.
Lift your spirits and make you believe.
You really are Santa Claus.
Pretty cool, huh?
Share the merriment and the magic.
Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing.
Tim Allen,
Santa?
the Santa Claus.
All right. Is that going to make you want to watch the movie?
Even more so. Yes.
In 1994, it did.
Yep.
Agreed.
It's goofy and cute and family friendly and all the things I want for the holidays.
And to see my favorite mathematician from the show Numbers as an elf was just gravy.
Yeah. No,
I
it has such an authentic sense of attempting to be heartwarming. It's not being false in how it presents that just really rings true even now.
The only thing that didn't get me was when they were walking down in the fire retardant Santa suit and they were doing that weird walk. That had to be a moment in time cultural thing that just doesn't hit anymore because I don't remember.
Well,
Yeah.
it was done to Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top, and they
Yep.
did it in time with the music. So that's probably why you're not catching. Did you not rewatch it before this? Because I didn't have time to, but
I didn't.
I remember that scene very well. That was awesome.
I did. I
And
just
ZZ Top did that in a music video. Go, JR. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I said I watched it, but I'm not necessarily hearing a song and knowing instantly the song and pairing it with music videos. So I was not a DJ in a past life, Michael. So you know.
Well, you also weren't
So
like
young.
MTV literate when ZZ Top was big in the 80s, like I was. So
Yep.
that's
When
probably
this
got something
movie
to do
came
with it
out in
too.
'94. I
So
turned 13.
I
at the
had
end
no
of 94.
choice. MTV was born on my
I didn't
birthday.
need to hear how old you were, JR. I didn't need that. I didn't ask.
I mean, you
Okay.
were calling me out, so I was calling you out back. All right, the boomerang goes both ways.
It's already established I'm an old man. Get off my lawn. Okay.
Who said that?
Well,
All
if
right,
it's any,
so
if it's
so
any
you see-
consolation for any of you guys, I'm seeing that trailer as young as I am, at a measly 27, and I'm like, I mean, if I had a
no, my
kid,
back hurt.
I might be interested in the movie, but watching just that trailer and seeing the poster, I'm like, eh.
Janet, did you hear that? I think that was my backtracking. Oh.
La 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 la.
I know. Yeah. Bill, you are the age of my oldest child. Just thanks for that.
So
Yeah, mine
okay,
too. So
Yeah. He's the age of one of my middle kids. Yeah.
So one of the things
my oldest child is older than Bill, and now I'm really, really old. Okay, JR, keep going. Save us from ourselves, please.
So one of the things you have problems with some movies is the movie trailer will be all the cool scenes and the rest of the movie sucks. And they threw all of it in the trailer to get your money. What I will say, and I'll see if the rest of you agree, there were like the trailer did a good job of capturing the essence of the movie, and it didn't call all the cool things. There were still other parts that kept you watching.
Right.
There were, but it did kind of give away the ending.
Yes,
A little bit.
a little bit.
Which
Yeah,
that
I
type of
think
game
they could have done a
was-
better job of that.
Yeah.
There was
And
that
for-
father-son dynamic that needed to be worked into the movie, yes, but I think they could have set that up better and then left that out of the trailer, the payoff out of the trailer. That would have been better.
And this was the original movie trailer. When I can, I try to get the original one that aired when the movie came out. So, all right. With that out of the way, so what did you guys think of the characters in this movie? You game? You thought they were well acted? Don't all talk at once.
Okay, so as far as an admittedly somewhat cheesy, film, because let's be honest, that's what it was. And the premise, everything was just kind of slightly ridiculous. But on the other hand, it did address something that we've all wondered about at one point in our lives or another. Is it really just one guy, or is it a continuum? And this is obviously not the first story to address this, but I liked that they addressed it. That, what does happen if Santa falls off a roof and snaps his spine? Well, somebody has to fill the boots, right? So I like that aspect of it. But I thought everybody did a great job. I really, really love Judge Reinhold in this. as the clueless dude that he's so good at that. He plays those characters so well. And his little obsession with the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile whistle was just
that was hilarious.
He's every shrink you've ever wanted to punch in the face,
Yes.
all wrapped up into one, with all the psychobabble that really means nothing and understands nothing about human nature.
Yes.
And he loved ugly sweaters.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the best part is when Bernard's in there and he's making himself a pita sandwich. He's like, he's checking the bag. He's like, is this one of ours? Did we make this?
Yeah. I love that.
It's me every time.
He's bringing us into his delusions. Oh my God, Laura.
So one of the things that really noticed, and I didn't when it first came out, was it really played into the dad's always an absentee or not necessarily alcoholic, but absentee workaholic, doesn't really know anything, bumbling idiot, can't cook anything, burns the kitchen, ends up at Denny's in the middle of the night with all the other guys with injuries, waving like the hand wounds. Sad sacks eating at the restaurant because they couldn't make a meal. And that really irked me because it's not that hard to make a meal. It's not like some magic sauce that only special women can make, right? Like dudes cook for themselves all the time. And so paying into that stereotype was very big in the 90s, but it just, I don't know, I guess looking at that did bug me a little bit when I rewatched it.
You got to remember that we're talking the era of Married with Children, being a big hit. And if anybody kicked off the failure as a father trend, it was Al Bundy. And so by 94, you kind of expected it. And what I think they did, though, you also notice, though, that he's a fairly competent idea man and toy maker. So, and I thought that was cool, though, that they gave him that job. It was kind of a little hat tip, But as far as the I guess incompetent dad bit, he wasn't that great with relationships. And for a guy who made toys, he didn't relate well to kids. And I like that aspect of his character, honestly.
Yeah,
it sets up a major redemption arc.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. Exactly, Chloe. That's what I was just going to say. Yeah. Definitely.
I'm just going to throw it out there. That turkey was still edible until the second time it caught on fire.
Right.
I'm just saying. That turkey was still edible. You just had to peel the skin off. Like that turkey was still edible until the second time it caught on fire and he sprayed it down.
Yeah. Then it was just, powdered whatever's in a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
No, I could taste it during that scene. I was like, that turkey's done. Nope.
Yeah, if you've ever used a fire extinguisher before, you never forget that smell and it gets in the back of your throat. And you never.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
But it was kind of, Tim Allen playing Tim Allen. That there are always aspects. He is not one of those actors who you give him a role and he dissolves into the role and is a chameleon. Pretty much anything you watch him in, there is the aspect that is Tim Allen. And that's why he ends up in things like Galaxy Quest and things like the Santa Claus, Home Improvement. He plays the same guy all the time because I think that's who he is. But for this movie, it worked. I mean, we even got the grunts and everything else that were right from Tool Time. And that was pulling people in who would love him in Tool Time, in Home Improvement. But I do think he brought a lot of heart to it. I do think you get into some of those scenes where he says, the only kid I'm worrying about is you, that there really is some soul there. He really did play it to say, even despite all this all this goofiness, and the goofiness is really fun, there is a heart to this movie, and that heart is around him and Charlie. And I'm okay with that because it is that redemption, and it is that how do they become father and son again, and what's really important, despite all of the ladders and the down the chimneys and everything else that were just fun.
I will say,
and they definitely. Oh, go ahead, Jer.
One of the things I liked about that was they got about parenting right. Scott tells his son, "Stay right here. I'm going to go deal with this dangerous thing." And he walks to deal with this dangerous thing. What does the kid do? Promptly disobeys and follows him right into the dangerous thing. And I'm like, yep, that's parenting in a nutshell right there.
Yep.
Pretty much.
And they definitely show you everybody's attitude when it comes to even just the elves. When Scott first gets up to the North Pole, and you see how some of them are kind of looking at him sideways, but other ones are just immediately on him. And he calls Bernard every B name in the book, but Bernard. But as soon as she's like, "I'm Judy," he's like, "Hi, Judy."
Well, no, hold on. So for that is because it's the snarkiness. He was doing the same thing with his ex-wife's new husband. That's him being snarky. It wasn't that he didn't remember.
I know.
But what I liked speaking of the elves, I really liked that they used kids as the elves the way they did. And then like he's talking to Judy and he's like, "Oh, this is really good." And then she plays like he's hitting on her because it was so dichotomous with this like 8-year-old girl. She says, "Oh, I'm seeing somebody in rapping."
Someone in account. I'm seeing someone in accounting. Accounting.
No,
it was great.
She said in rapping. She said, "I'm seeing someone." No, she said, "Thanks, I'm seeing." I wrote it down. "Thanks, I'm seeing someone in rapping," and he's like,
I watched all 3 of them damn movies last night.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite lines in the whole movie, by the way.
Right?
I'm seeing someone rapping, and I just love that, and I loved her character too. I mean, with this little precocious girl playing the role of a 1,200-year-old elf who finally perfected her cocoa recipe. She nailed it. I mean,
like after 1,100 years, by the way, it took her 1,100 years to perfect a cocoa recipe.
Sorry, thank you. Yeah,
no, she's 1,200. It took her 1,100 to get the recipe right.
Thank you. Yeah. But just totally believable. I was like, yeah, she's an elf. She's not a kid. Total elf. Yeah, absolutely.
But I thought that
you have to love Elf Team 6 too, when Charlie is stuck up on the roof and Santa's in police custody, and they're like, "Never do this without elf supervision."
Nope.
That was a nod to the parents, I think, so the kids didn't try jumping off the roof with the backpack.
Yeah, like I did after I watched Hooper.
You would.
Multiple times.
What did you guys think? What did everyone else think? Because Chloe and Bill, you've been quiet. What did you guys think about the elves?
They sparkle. They have such a real authenticity to them that you only get by having child actors, that it's just winning. It's a really charming, winning way to cast this idea of what youth looks like and what it is.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it was really smart to have kids play the elves because paying attention to the story, it's very much, or there's this very big thing of just the childlike wonder that comes with Christmas. And so having the elves be children and reflect that physically, not just in what they do, I think was a good choice for the studio there.
Yeah, and some of them, they actually had actual infants crawling around that they had paused. There's one was an actual infant painted to look like one of the Oompa Loompas that stopped when he's like, "I'm not taking the job." And then they pan around and you see this like actual like baby dressed like an Oompa Loompa that they panned over. And I'm like, that's somebody's kid. You know, they just didn't have a babysitter because they just threw that in there.
It was fun
Peter
that they used
Dinklage
kids.
wasn't around to scream about it either.
No, not yet. The South Pole elf. No, but you notice that the kids are when he's getting his affairs in orders after he takes on the job. You see the elves intermingled with the children at the playground.
Yeah.
Oh, they're keeping an eye on him. You're right. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So when they all started lining up and sitting on his knee, telling him what he wanted for Christmas when he was at the bench when he was there with Charlie. You can see an elf behind the bench that's like making mental notes of what the kids are saying.
Well, I think it was also
you start noticing that throughout the movie. Anytime there's kids, you look at the ears and they have elf ears.
I think some of that was also encouraging him to keep the job because he was reluctant, and I think seeing the joy from the kids was encouraging him to keep not harden his heart, right? Because how do you say no to that little girl who just wanted ballet slippers?
But ultimately, though, I think it was Charlie who convinced him that he really was Santa Claus when he tossed him the snow globe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the whole time, it's like Scott was like, "No, I'm a toy guy. I'm a sales guy. This is not what I want." And then his life's falling apart. His boss is like, "You need help." His ex-wife is trying to take his kid from him. His whole life's crumbling around him.
Because of the Santa Claus.
Right. And so then there's Charlie, like, no, Dad, this is who you are. Here, catch. Kind of thing.
You can have everybody in the world believe in you, but it's completely different when it's your own kid.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so the other thing that I thought really stood out to me was all the outfits and the haircuts. Like the ex-wife's haircut was Nick wrote in the chat was very 90s Karen. The clothes, the high-waisted jeans, the outfits. Like I remember seeing that as a kid. So
you also noticed with her hair.
Yes,
because it's a very cold 90s.
Harsh Bob.
Page boy.
I want to say something, but
because in the 90s,
I'm trying to keep it family friendly, but it's the quintessential B word of the 90s haircut.
Well, yeah, because everybody in the 90s was rebelling against the Aquanet poofiness of the 80s. They had to go in the total opposite direction.
Right. And at the end of the movie, it stops being that cold shell of a haircut, and it starts curling out a little bit.
Yes.
They're kind of telling like a transition with her hair.
I did not notice that. I'm going to have to go watch it again and look for that.
This is the first time I
noticed all the little elves that you noticed in all the kids' shots. I didn't notice that.
Oh,
at all.
Stabby gave me a nice little rib shot. Like, hey, look, see the elves I was telling you about. And I thought she was crazy before that. I'm like, holy shit, you're not crazy.
I didn't notice them at first until the end when they're rescuing Santa and all the kids in the neighborhood are there. And then when I knew they were there, I was looking for it the second time that I watched it in preparation for this. I'm like, oh, they're more than just that one scene. They were everywhere.
They're all
that one scene where he's walking in the park and his Charlie is giggling and he can't figure out why because the reindeer are following him.
Well, even before that, in the opening sequence of the movie, when the little kids are staring at the toy store window, the little blonde girl with the rosy cheeks, she turns her head and you can see her pointed ear.
Mm-hmm. Which begs the question of if the elves knew that the replacement was coming, because the one thing with this movie that kind of bugs me just a tiny bit is Santa falls off the roof and for all intents and purposes dies, and nobody acts sad, nobody acts like this was a tragedy, nobody acts like anything else, and I'm like, okay, that there has to be some kind of a process here where the elves were expecting a turnover, because it bugs the crap out of me that they all just attached to him when, well, were you attached to the guy who fell off the roof? How come he didn't get a rope from Donner to keep him from falling off the roof? It seems really sad for the guy that started the whole thing. Go ahead.
Well, and he even waves when he like waves or does a thumbs up when Tim Allen takes the card.
This is just wrong.
Okay, so me and Nick were talking about this all night last night because we watched all three before we even realized that this podcast was happening today. So we were already into the Santa Claus last night. We were locked in to 1 and 2 and 3, and we were watching it. And we have this conversation every time: is Santa dead? What happens to Mrs. Claus? If Santa's dead, what happens to his kids? If Santa's dead, why does nobody seem to care? And so we started really paying attention. And if you remember in the third one, when Jack Frost and Santa are going back and forth in time, there's little sparkles that happen. Well, Santa, when he falls off the roof in the first one, turns into those little sparkles, those same time traveling sparkles. So we have come to the conclusion that Santa did not die. He simply decided it was time for him to retire. They picked Scott. For some reason, they picked Scott. And Santa already knew what was going to happen when he was on that roof. He was just waiting for it. Because Scott would have slept through that had Charlie not woken him up. But for some reason, for the first time, Charlie was very invested in the story. Charlie really wanted to know what the clatter on the roof was. Scott went out to investigate. Scott got the coat. Like, everything in it says that Santa, Mrs. Claus, who's not up in North Pole when they get there the first time, and if they had any kids is not up in the North Pole when they get up there the first time, are all down in Aruba or in Hawaii or something, just living out the rest of their life.
Yeah, but the writer in me wants that to be explicit. I want something more than I have to watch all three of them and then make guesses, because that's kind of where I went, is that I'm sure there's some Santa magic and he's gone off somewhere else. But I did want, and who knows what happened in the director's cut, but I did want just a hint more, because it seems really harsh when as a grown up, how quickly everybody kind of goes, well, the old guy's gone. Oh, it's fine. We now love Scott. And it's like, well, but didn't you like the old guy? Because now I feel bad for the old guy.
If it makes
What
you
happened
feel
to
better,
Dave?
I had that in my notes too. My note: they're too casual about the old Santa dying.
So here's that fun little thing that I know that Ranger Nick was telling you guys about before the show started. That Stabby always brings it up every time. In the original script, before Disney was like, "Yeah, we'll take on this script. We'll produce this movie," Scott is supposed to come out with a double barrel and pew pew, and that's how Santa winds up falling off the roof. But Disney was like, okay, there is one thing we do need to change. That can't happen. And so in the original script, which Tim Allen did film originally as a test portion of the movie, he did do that, and he really enjoyed that scene. And then they had to cut it.
The bit of the transition that stuck out to me for all of this is, as much as everybody else is just ready to go along with it, I really love that Bernard feels like he's seen some stuff.
Oh yeah, like he was enough.
He's a very
from that
weary,
moment. I
old
loved
weirdo.
that character. I had a tiny little person crush on Bernard for many years, and he showed up in 10 Things, and he showed up in Firefly, and I'm like, I still love you, even though you're playing a dweeb now. I loved him because of his silly hair and his silly hat, and he has seen some stuff.
He's just over it. Like, dude, you put on the suit. Did you not read the fine print? Sucks to be you. This is your job now.
And they you noticed, Chloe, to what you were saying, he only has a nice persona when he starts talking to Charlie, and then he goes back to being a jerk when he's talking to Scott.
Yes. I would say he's stern. He's not a jerk. Like
he's
in the third one, you see how many previous Santas there were because of all the snow globes. Because each Santa gets his own snow globe, and they're just as a room of floating snow globes. So he's had to deal with this over 100 times. He's like, listen, you put on the coat, you took the job. Didn't you read the print, you idiot? You know, and like I said, the previous Santa was probably Bill from accounting, and he's an idiot. So he had to deal with that idiot. You know, that's why nobody was sad, because Bill from accounting, who's Santa, is an idiot.
That contrast to the rest of the situation. He's just over it, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, and he's not in the third one either. Like, he took his retirement. They never explained where Bernard went. He's just like, you know what? You figure it out, especially after the last movie and the fake Santa. Yeah, I'm out.
Okay. Yeah, I really like the way the actors played off each other as well. I thought that worked. I thought the world building worked because it was basically the modern world, so they just layered on to the Santa mythos we all kind of grew up with. What about the rest of you? Was there anything you noticed plot holes in either the story or the world building?
No, it's full of
for
plot
me. I was
holes.
entertained.
Yeah,
it's a Santa myth. You're allowed to have those.
Yeah, a kids movie, like, you know. Yeah,
you don't care.
We let shit slide.
Pretty much, that's my opinion. But I'm giving you a chance to voice if you got thoughts, strong feelings about anything with the movie.
It's a good wholesome movie with Tim the Toolman Taylor. Like I as much as I can pick it apart, like from like a film critic point of view, I'm not going to, because there's so much nostalgia in that. I was a teenager when that movie came out. I was in high school. And Tim the Toolman Taylor, the #1 show in America with Home Improvement. I watched it religiously, and you know, at that time, that it could do no wrong. And even with, you know, I'm getting ready to turn a half century, I can still look back at that movie and still feel those feelings I was having as a kid. You know, because I'm aging out of that Christmas, you know, type, mentality where like Santa is real and all that stuff. You know, so I'm kind of aging out, but it kind of takes you back to when you were in it. You know, you were locked in for the whole Christmas, Santa, you know, midnight mass. Thanks, Mom. You know, that whole thing. So I could pick it apart, but I'm not going to. first of all, it's a Disney movie, like everybody else said. It's gonna have plot holes and it's gonna have its plot armor, and we all are just gonna let it slide because of how it makes us feel. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And I totally agree with that, Nick, because I also was in high school when the movie came out originally. And I remember loving the movie as a teenager. And then I rewatched it yesterday, and I still felt all the same things I felt when I was younger. It was a great movie.
And as an adult, I get to laugh at the jokes that they put in there that was for the adults.
The ones that went right over my head when I was younger.
Best
Yep,
of both
exactly.
worlds.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
when he's hitting on Judy. I didn't pick up on that the first time I watched it. I was like, all right.
Yeah, and I love that. For me, it helped put me in the Christmas spirit this year watching it again. So that was a bonus.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed the little things, the little stuff that they put in there. Like Judy is the elf, but Judy is also the waitress at Denny's. And his pajamas have Etsy on them for Santa Claus, but also for Scott Calvin. Like, I like those little tiny details that they throw in there.
Those PJs do look comfortable.
Okay. Yeah. Any problems with the cinematography? I thought, other than the fat suit didn't hold up to 5K, 4K, whatever we're at right now. I thought
4K.
the movie held up otherwise.
The visual effects is the only thing that doesn't hold up. But once again, we let it slide.
I watched it on my computer, so I didn't have a high enough resolution to notice.
We have a 4K TV, not to brag. I also have a dozen eggs, but eggs are cute. But
wow, man, you're rolling in that money.
You
must be selling lots of comics.
No. No. So we changed the settings on the TV so it was a little bit more crisp, and we were watching Violent Night the night prior to that, and I didn't get an invite to that podcast. Very hurt. Hashtag never forgive you. So I had to change the settings because Violent Night is a very dark movie. It's filmed very dark. So I'm like, man, why is it so dark? So we had to change the settings. But then we didn't change them back to what we had. And we watched the Santa Claus. And I was like, man, those visual effects are awful. Those are horrible. Because it's like the beginning of CGI. So I don't think Industrial Light and Magic was involved in this. Otherwise, it probably would look better because you had Jurassic Park the year prior.
Yeah, so, Disney didn't own them yet.
Not yet. Lucas didn't sell his soul yet. So yeah, the cinematography was fine. It was set up, like most movies at that time. It was well shot. I'd love the scene where him and Charlie are walking down the street and it pans up what the inside joke is, and it's the reindeer following them. That was awesome. The only thing that doesn't hold up is the damn visual effects because they look horrible, especially now. We're watching them on 60, 80-inch TVs with 4K high def, all that stuff.
Stop bragging.
Let's also remember that a lot of these things were practical effects as well. Yeah. A lot of the reindeer shots were practical effects. And this is a little bit post the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. So the animatronics weren't that great. But I think they could have done better. And yeah, you're right. It does not hold up. It didn't even hold up, really, honestly, when that movie hit VHS. Yeah, I'm that old. It it didn't hold up then either.
Tell me about Betamax, Grandpa. Tell me about Betamax.
Rewind and rewind. Shut up, boy. I'll beat you with my cane.
Stop yelling at
me. And Bill's like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
You already put me in a home.
Grandpa's going on his spiel again.
I miss the colors. I miss the movies that had color like this. The ability to play with that much color and not feel self-conscious about it. And where upscale is now all gray and silver and tan, and that's what expensive and nice feels like. And back in the day, the McDonald's had a play place, and this has a play place feel to it that I miss.
And now McDonald's looks like it was designed by a prison.
I'm just saying, never forget what they took from you people. Never forget.
So I think with this movie, it definitely gives you the feeling that Scott Calvin and Charlie live in the same timeline as Kevin McAllister. I think they could live in the same timeline in the same town. It gives you the same feeling watching Home Alone as it does watching the Santa Claus. And I absolutely love that. And to throw a little something at Chloe over there, somebody just released photos of the inside of the McAllister house, and it is all gray.
I've seen all of the conversation. And I understand that the modern aesthetic is elegant and clean, but it's so cold and echoing by comparison. It just
and some
doesn't
houses
feel...
should be left alone.
It's like the look that you see in the 80s in that the Beetlejuice house. Like, it just is hideous. Sometimes you just don't mess with classics.
Chloe would get a kick out of my house. My walls, they look white, but they're actually yellow. All my walls in my whole house.
I'll never forget. We went back I grew up in Paducah, Kentucky, and I took my kids back there for the eclipse back in 2017. They met my best friend's mom. We watched the eclipse from her porch, and it was really cool because these are the grandkids she never had because my best friend passed away in 96 before he could have any kids. And so it was really just a cool thing. But we also went by the house that I grew up in. And I was just going to show it to him. This is where I grew up. This is the house. That was my window up there. And this guy walks out of the house and invites us in. You grew up here? Come on in. Show your kids the house that you grew up in. And took us on the dudes. I kid you not. That house was so depressing when I was growing up because my mom wanted all the walls to be white and she wanted carpet and it was very boring. This guy had painted the walls this like electric blue. And it was the coolest. I said, dude, I wish I'd grown up in this version. This is amazing. It was awesome. But then he did get me to tell him the story of how the crack in the bathroom door happened. And he finally got that answer. So that's good. That was my brother chasing me and I ran in. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My brother's head made that crack in the bathroom door. My brother. I slammed the door in his face to hide from him. And he was running full steam and right into it. It was great.
I mean, in your defense, he did have it coming.
He did have it coming.
All right. So overall thoughts on this movie, Bill?
Yeah, it's just a fun time. I will agree. It is very heavily carried by the nostalgia. It really is. But at the same time, in a way, that sort of works toward its favor because it sort of builds that Christmas feeling. It builds it, and with the story itself, as I mentioned before, it just a big part of it being Tim Allen's character just finding that whimsy of Christmas or whimsy of childhood, I guess, just whimsy for life or whatever. Again, does go a long way to making it appeal to someone like me who is depressed and cynical. So it's overall just a fun watch, no matter the age. Absolutely something to introduce children to if you have them.
Okay, Jana.
I love it. It's silly. It's heartwarming. I don't care that the effects don't hold up because, again, you just put it into that place of this is Christmas. And I know on a later episode we're going to talk about things like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and that's that same kind of thing. The nostalgia of it, this is what Christmas is. There's movies that fall into that. And some of the ones that people say, oh, this is the movie, don't work for me. But this one does. I will watch it with my kids. I will watch it with my grandkids. I will be happy about it. And I kind of enjoyed being able to go back and revisit something like that on the first, when we're recording, it's the first week of December. So like somebody mentioned, it's a good way to get into the mood. I think it was Charlie, who said it was kind of just a fun way to get into the Christmas mood. So I appreciate the opportunity to go back and do that.
Okay. Charlie?
Yeah, absolutely what Jana said. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. I've loved it since I was younger. Watched it again, still love it. Yeah, it's not perfect. It has plot holes. The visual effects aren't the greatest, but my heart was happy watching it, and I'm ready for Christmas and might actually do some shopping now. So, mission accomplished in that respect, and I enjoyed it.
Capitalism thanks you. And you mentioned plot holes when he's walking down the street and he sees all the kids. He's like, so and so nice, so and so naughty. Oh, Veronica, very nice. She doesn't even question that he knows her name. She's just like, as if, Grandpa.
Right?
That one was the one I'm like, wait, she's not even curious how he knows her name?
Now, you see, Santa, to put it the way kids, the kids these days might, one of the youths, Santa has that riz, okay? That's why she didn't question it. All the chicks love Santa. Just remember that.
They all want to sit on his lap. Shielding.
Sorry, man. I'm a Gordon Ramsay fan. I hear Riz and I think of something completely different.
We're just going to save ourselves from whatever stream of nonsense words he just made up and slapped together. And we're going to say, Stabby, what did you think overall of the Santa Claus?
She's recovering.
Well, I mean, I can't say nothing. I already have a bearded man, and if I sit on his lap, he gives me anything I want. So we're fine.
Family friendly.
Clothes on? What's wrong with you, JR?
Dude.
God, I was making a Santa joke.
You were the one talking about family friendly like 5 minutes ago.
No, I love this movie. Like I said, we were already watching this set of movies before we even realized this podcast was happening today. We were like, hey, we can jump on. We just watched all three of them. But we love these movies. We watch them at least twice a year during the Christmas season, usually once right after Thanksgiving and then again right before Christmas. It's Tim Allen, you guys. It's Tim Allen. Like you can't go wrong with Tim Allen. And if you're looking for something more recent of his, that's really fun to watch. Disney also has his new TV show Switching Gears, and that's also a lot of fun to watch because it's Tim Allen. So I think if you really want a movie that gets you in the mood for Christmas and you've already, tapped out on your Home Alone or all the other Christmas movies, this is definitely one to revisit every year because it's just fun.
All right, LaVoice.
Oh yeah, perennial classic. I will watch it again. Haven't watched it yet this season, but I will. And I love Tim Allen. Last Man Standing is another great show that he's done recently. And I love Tim Allen. I love everything he's done pretty much. And I even loved him when he was a stand-up because he used to do stand-up before he became did the Tool Time show. The whole show was basically based and rooted around his stand-up. Like so many comedians, he all made the comment, he plays himself. So does Kevin Costner. But in Tim Allen's case, it's fun to watch.
Well, Yellowstone's a great show, right? At least it was.
He's still cosplaying. I don't care.
All right.
I get it. Kevin Costner cosplaying. Clever.
Chloe.
Wow, calling stuff out here. No, it's definitely 2 thumbs up for me. I like the 90s village to it. The sense of the simpler storytelling, the simpler relationships where we can have goofy characters who aren't intended to be real human beings in a complete sense. They just play a role to tell a story. And it's a beautiful, fun little story that is charming and genuine and optimistic. And I love it.
All right, Nick.
It's probably one of my favorite Christmas movies. It definitely sets the tone because we watched it yesterday. So yeah, it sets up, the whole Christmas season. We start off right after we finish eating the bird on Thanksgiving. We put on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's how we start off the season. And then we just gradually start watching other Christmas movies. This is right up there with one of my other favorite Christmas movies, which is Santa Claus the movie, which came out in 1985. Also a very vibrant color palette when they go to the North Pole and all that. So
is that the same theme?
Huh?
Is the Santa Claus the 1985 one? Is it the same thing or just the same title?
it's Santa Claus the movie, and they were very adamant about it being called Santa Claus the movie. And it talks about Santa Claus and kind of about his history, and it has John Lithgow in it, which is awesome. You know, who doesn't love him? It has Dudley Moore. He played one of the elves, and he just kind of like causes problems for Santa. You know, it's, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a great movie. It still kind of holds up. It's a very wholesome Christmas movie. I'd put it up there with like Miracle on 34th Street, you know, as far as like things you should be watching for Christmas. You know, I love everything about this movie. Of course, I love Tim Allen. I think he's hilarious, especially at the time when that movie came out. Like we covered, you know, he was on TV. He was #1 show in America, and he was a hilarious dude. And just the cast was great. It's really sad watching the rest of the Santa Claus movies where Charlie becomes a dick, and not very Christmas loving. Spoiler alert. Hey, it had to be said. It's like, you know, your dad's Santa, and you're still being an anti-Christmas a-hole. Like, no, forget about it, kid. Bernard would slap the hell out of you. He'd slap the Christmas out of you is what he would do. But yeah, it's a great movie. And teenagers, yeah, you can't kill them, even on 2 acres, and can hide the body.
All right, and overall, before he
this parenting moment from Nick has been brought to you
before
by...
he totally like plows under any attempt at family-friendly ratings, I'm just going to move forward and say overall, I thought the movie was great. Even my cold, dead, ball humbug heart enjoyed the movie for what it was. And with that, share your thoughts, dear listener. Did you like it? Is it a fan favorite? Did you grow up watching it? If you're too young to have done that, we don't want to hear about it. Just lie to us. And with that, Bill,
send her the hate mail.
Yes. Bill, where can we stalk you on the Wild interwebs?
Well, with a name like mine, I'm easy to find. I'm unfortunately on Twitter, and more fortunately on Substack. As I said at the start of the show, I am currently writing the Zorn sci-fi pulp series over on Substack. That is spelled Zulu, Omega, Romeo, November, Echo. .substack.com for anyone interested in that. And I think that just about covers it.
I subscribed to you yesterday, by the way.
I saw that.
Jana.
Oh, you can find me over at Linktree, linktr.ee/Opal Kingdom Press, or you can go directly to the press at www.opalkingdompress.com. Yes, it's repetitive. You can find me under either of these 2 pen names all over the internet. I am the loser of Internet Hide and Go Seek. So if you look up the pen names and they have something to do with publishing, 99.987% of the time, it's me.
Outstanding. Charlie.
You can find me at charliecox.net. Where are my fingers? There they are. You can also find me on Amazon. The lovely anthology there is available now. And I also have another anthology called Running with Sharp Objects, which by the time this airs will have released last week. So you can find that on Amazon. And I hope you enjoy it. And if you're into more military fantasy and cryptids, I've got a book with a Sasquatch and I've got a book with a Wendigo. So check them both out.
Nice.
All right. And for those listening at home, because this might have had some kids listening, do not run with sharp objects. It's fun in a story, not so much. Don't try it at home. All right.
That'll be the name of my autobiography.
Yes, my Indian name is Runs with Scissors. Anyway, yeah, you can find me at michaellavoice.com. You can also find me at La Voice in Your Head on YouTube and TikTok. Those are my channels where I talk about nerdy things and whatever weird brain drippings happen to be falling out of my head that day. And other than that, you can go pick up my series Galaxy's Most Wanted or Gladius Leagues, and soon you will be able to add Sarcom to that list because we're going to start releasing those early next year.
Oh, freaking standing. Chloe.
Hi. You can find me at chloegarner.com just for long form updates of what's going on. Follow me on Amazon or subscribe to my newsletter to figure out when I've got new stuff coming out. Or you can hang out on my Facebook group, which is the best place in the universe, hands down. I will have just finished my 12 Days of Christmas sale, but if you are going to come hang out with me either on my newsletter or my Facebook group, I'm going to be doing sales of books 2 and 3 in most of my series through January and February. So come hang out and find out when those things are going up, because they're only going to be going up for a day at a time, and you got to be in there if you're going to get them.
All right, Jana. So we shared this in a couple weeks ago when this airs. We shared this in the Facebook group and on our Twitter. But friend of the show, Melissa, has some sales. You want to tell us about that real quick so we can save your basement?
Yes, absolutely. So, friend of the show, Melissa McShane, is out in India. That means that all of her book stock lives in my basement because we're friends that way. So, on Melissa's behalf, please save my basement from all of her books and go to nightharborpress.com, where she has a wonderful direct store. And if you use the code HOLIDAY25, you get 15% off everything in the store, including bundles, book boxes, individual books, ebooks, audiobooks, all of the stuff. Please get it out of my basement. Please sell all of her books, and that way I get to have my basement back.
Just until the next round of books shows up.
That is true, because she will order more, but at least I will briefly look over my basement and go, and here is the carpet.
So who writes quicker, Melissa or Chloe? We should have like a write-off and see.
Oh, that would be interesting. I don't know.
I track statistics.
So does she. So
Melissa, so
maybe that'll be a fun panel. We'll have a discussion of statistics.
No, that's not a fun panel.
It would be fun for the authors, maybe not for the readers, but I'd be curious. So, all right. And this is the part, dear listener, where I remind you to please be kind and speak your mind on the reviewing platforms. Your reviews help the right readers find the right book. So do your part. It really does make a difference, dear listener. You can find us on our Linktree, linktr.ee, Linktree/Blasters and Blaze Podcast. Again, Linktree/Blasters and Blaze Podcast, where we link to all the things, the BitChute, the Rumble, the YouTube, the TikTok, the Twitters. We've got our Spotify, our Discord, our Blasters and Blaze Facebook group and Facebook page. We have our email, blastersandblazepodcast@gmail.com. Again, blastersandblazepodcast@gmail.com, where we link to all of the things. Blasters and Blades. The email is for professional purposes only. Save the shenanigans from Stabby Stab over there on the Instagram, the Twitter, and the email. She doesn't get enough hate mail, so send her all of your funny, wacky, weird thoughts. She's here for it. She's got nothing else to do. You can support the show by going.
No, that's not true. She's writing.
Well, this is true now. Encourage her. Tell her to write faster. You want to know how the mafia guy murders someone
quicker, dang it.
Make her love him.
Word quicker.
Yes. I know I murdered your boyfriend, kidnapped you from your family, and have you tied in my basement, but you love me.
It's all fine and dandy until you're trying to write armpit and you write parm fit.
I mean, stuff happens.
Wow.
You can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Hanley. Again, buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Hanley. Be sure to put in the comment section that it's for the podcast, and I promise I will keep my co-hosts duly caffeinated. They will drink that coffee brand coffee. They will get high on their own supply. And if you want some of that coffee brand coffee, link is in the show notes. Discount code is podcast runs. You get 10% off. We get a little bit of a kickback. It's a win-win, people. And with that, I would like to thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For my crazy co-host, I am J.R. Hanley, and this was the Blasters and Blaze podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time. We'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go boom. And in case this is the last episode you listen to this year, and it is it is Christmas Eve, Merry freaking Christmas, people. Happy Hanukkah, happy solstice, happy Festivus for the rest of us. Whatever you're celebrating, we'll celebrate it with you. And enjoy, be safe, drink responsibly. Don't caffeinate and drive, people. All right?
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
That's right. Limit your sugar consumption and set your scales back 25 pounds.
Diabetes.
Did I miss anything? Oh, that's right. And Wilford Brimley, he's sleeping this week, so he won't tell you the diabetes, so it doesn't count.
Diabetes. Dead?
Diabetes.
Well, I mean, he's well, you know, that's a different panel for a different day about
the big sleep.
And
it's the big sleep.
I'm going to hit the end button before we get and ruin that family friendly.